Good afternoon. I'm Alan Rosenfield, president of Harmony Nonprofit, and this is our latest edition of Insights, our educational series for mission-based organizations. With an election coming up in just a few short weeks, there are two questions that are worthy of consideration. One that we're getting asked frequently, and the other which we're rarely being asked, but to us, which is far more important for people to understand. So the question we're getting asked frequently, especially over the last few months, whether at board meetings, executive meetings, or where our team's attending, is who do we think is going to win the election? What will the impact on investment results be? And how will it impact or change our investment strategies? And the simple answer is it'll have no impact. Nobody works with us because we have some kind of special political insight. Organizations are working with us because we have a lot of investment knowledge, and our services are focused on providing or helping provide long-term sustainability for the organization and mission success. And the reality is this kind of volatility around the election is quite normal, and in the long run has absolutely no impact. And I'm going to back up this statement with this chart that's coming up. So this is a chart of the S&P 500 monthly returns over the last several decades, and we've highlighted where elections were coming up. And what you'll see is there was increased volatility, but very soon after elections, the trends went back to whatever they were, and the shorter term volatility that was being felt had no long-term impact. The more important question that we're so rarely asked, but which we think is so much more important for organizations, is what are the trends that are in place or that are developing that are going to have an impact on your cash flows and on your sustainability and therefore your ability to succeed at your mission. And there is no one answer to this because obviously every organization is focused on different things, is of different sizes in different regions. But these are the very important questions that should be considered. So we're going to give you the kinds of things to think about rather than one, here's the answer everybody should use. Think of this as an onion that we're peeling back. We're starting at the 50,000 foot level, and then we're getting more and more detailed at the local specific level for your organization. So at the big picture level, what's happening domestically and globally in terms of economics, in terms of demographics? How are these going to have an impact on your industry and on your mission? Then you want to dig into these things at a more local level. And this is going to be much more specific to your own industry or your sector. So as an example, let's say you're in higher education. Questions that are logical would be things like, how are government regulations impacting your cash flows and your demands in terms of staffing and time? Are there changes in the demand for types of degrees? What about the impact, both the benefits as well as the costs that could be associated with online education as opposed to in-person education? If you're a charity, it gets even more granular potentially because it's a question of what's happening in your city, state, region that you work in and in the sector that you work in. So are demographics changing? Are people moving in? Are people moving out? Is there an increased demand for your services? Is there a decreased demand? In all of these cases, what you're really asking for is what's going on that not just today, tomorrow, but next year, this year, next year, the next 3 to 5 years. is going to impact our cash flows and therefore our sustainability and therefore our ability to succeed at our mission. The bottom line is that more important than headline news for organizations is your long-term trends and long-term plans. Whether you're an investment advisor like Harmony, or whether you're a mission-based organization, advanced anticipation of trends, advanced planning of, we think this is where the world is going, and therefore we're planning this, but if we're wrong, we're planning that. This is going to be much more valuable to not only your sustainability, but as well as your ability to meet your mission goals. And this is where you really should be spending your time focusing, because this will help you and we can help you figure the things that you need to get stronger at, the things that you may want to change. I hope you found this helpful. As always, we're happy to talk to you if you have questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening.